A lot of this album is about being on the outside, looking in, or just always feeling like we're not part of the cool scene. But it's funny because as this album has been built up for its release, we're getting so much reaction from so many different bands who are metal bands or doom bands or punk bands that are saying that they can't wait for this too.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Sean from the Heavy Underground Farm Report and Hufferfest. I've got Andrew's Sample from Dirty Kings with me today. Andrew's got a new album coming out on Friday, so we wanted to talk about that. I also wanted to talk to Andrew about some other general things on the rock scene. Andrew's from the Colorado scene, our sister scene here in Denver. I want to talk a little bit about their scene. And Andrew has a really deep history of making music. It's that Fireball Ministry shirt is no accident. Hey, Andrew, how are you doing today, bud? Thanks for joining me.
Patrick, I'm great. I'm super stoked to be here. I've been a fan of yours for a couple of years now, so I'm glad that you have afforded us and me the opportunity to be on your show.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Andrew and I met a couple of years ago. I think you guys did a show with Luna Soul, and we met, and I picked up their album, and I've been listening to it ever since, and I'm super excited that you guys are making some new music. You guys are maybe not exactly what I normally listen to, but you're the roots of everything I listen to. So, Andrew, why don't you just go ahead and let's talk about how excited you are about the new album, and we'll just start there, and then we'll work our way back, I guess.
Yeah, sounds good. And again, thanks for letting me be a part of this because I know Dirty Kings isn't in your normal wheelhouse as far as bands that you support with Huffer. But I think that's one thing about Dirty Kings is that we appeal to a wide variety of hard music fans, rock and roll fans, metal fans, the whole bit. So again, to start now and I guess go backwards, like you said, our third album, Dirty Kings 3, comes out this Friday, May 29th.
The art is amazing. I love the skulls of the beards, man. Who did the art?
Good friend of mine named Tad Ledger, Leger. You can find him online.
All right.
He does some great stuff, man. He and I have known each other for a long time. He's a drummer from the New York State area. He played in a band called Toxic, Toxik, a late 80s thrash band. They had 2 albums out on Roadrunner way back, toured in Europe, toured the States with King Diamond. So he's got some professional experience. He also played with Blood Farmers, which is a great doom band as well. He had a shorter stint with them. But anyway, he and I just been social media friends for a long time. And, you know, we kind of had the concept. There's a CD. We kind of had the concept for this in our minds. And we had been working with a Japanese artist for a few years on a few different designs. We kind of had him in mind, and he got later on, and Wade, our bass player, he messaged me. He's like, "Hey man, is this guy the right guy to be doing this?" Just because his style is a little different than what we were talking about. And I said, you know, I don't know. I said, but you know, there is a guy that I know who's looking for some work. He's got some time. And I tell you, we approached Tad with this album cover design and he was so into it. First of all, he shot me these ridiculously low prices for original artwork. And I'm like, okay, but what can we do here? So I would say from our time we started talking about doing something, within 4 or 5 days, we almost had that complete album artwork. I mean, he nailed it, man. He just nailed it for what we were looking for. And then he had a few ideas that helped stretch that idea that we had into something even better with the border. So lo and behold, we got the whole album layout from him. And he's been a good friend ever since. He's working on a lyric video for our first single that we released last week, Out of Line. So we're supposed to have a teaser for that by the end of this week when we actually launch the record. So Tad Ledger is our artist for this album, Dirty Kings 3, and we couldn't be more stoked with how it turned out.
Well, right on, Andrew. Hey, man, thanks for using a real artist, bud. I know that's, you know, not just our scene or whatever, but it's important to actually have humans making music and humans making pictures. And so I know a lot of us really appreciate you doing that, man.
I think on some
And
of our
Tad, it's
social
a
media,
beautiful. Yeah, go ahead.
I
I'm
was just
sorry.
going to say some of our sites actually say, real rock music being played by real musicians using real instruments. So
Thank you.
there's no AI in our music. There's no AI really in how we plan things. So there's no other way to do it for us than to hire real artists. So just goes
Yeah,
hand in
man.
hand with kind of our whole outlook.
Yeah, I feel the same way, man. I love that about you guys, and I think it's fucking cool, man. You guys are such a real band. Like you guys, like, well, just let's talk about a couple songs on the new album, man. Because
Okay.
like, so when I listen to it, I got my little list. First of all, I'm not necessarily in the order the songs are on,
Mm-hmm.
but man, the first song that really like jumped out at me, like, holy shit, was "The House That Rocks." You guys have written like a rock anthem
Yep.
that doesn't sound corny, that's you could sing along to, that really has a heavy, duty feel, man. Are you guys all right? Are you playing that one live?
Yeah. I mean, our record
You
release
got to. You
show.
have to.
Yeah, our record release show coming up on June 12th. We're playing the whole album, not
Oh, cool.
necessarily in its order because
Yeah.
there's a couple of different tunings, but we are playing the whole album in its entirety. And we have played House That Rocks a couple of times. And you know what, man, you're absolutely right. That's a song that Wade wrote musically, and he wanted to do an anthem,
Yeah, it's a good
flat
one.
out an anthem. And it took a long time to develop it. It took a while to get the right lyrics to it and really suss it out as far as let's not do it so tongue in cheek. But
Yeah, it
that's
doesn't come across that way.
that's one of the I'd say 4 or 5 songs on this album that lyrically are about in a way being Dirty Kings. We've always been kind of on the outside of what our scene is down here from the Denver scene too. There's not a lot of
Yeah.
straight up twin guitar hard rock and roll bands that do what we do. So House That Rocks was actually the band was going for a couple of years before I joined. I've been in the band almost 10 years now.
Okay.
But they were around for a couple of years before
All
that.
right.
And
All right.
John, one of our guitar players, was the lead singer. And when I joined, I went down to where the guys rehearse, where we still rehearse, and it was dark out. It was in the evening, and there was a garage door open, and I walked up into the garage, and I see these guys hanging out inside there, and I just said, "Hey, is this the House That Rocks?" And they're like, "Hey, man, what's going on?" So
That's
when it came down to actually writing lyrics for the song, I kind of remembered that and always kind of like that phrase, "The House That Rocks." And so we kind of made that the actual anthem to the song and kind of wrote lyrics around that. So yeah, it's definitely an old school anthem. So
Yeah, I love that. It really sent me back to like being in high. I'm an old guy. I was in high school in the '80s, man. So it
me
was
too.
like, yeah. So man, that like really resonates with us, right? I mean, there was a lot of Quiet Riot and Twisted Sister, but this song is a little more serious than that. I like that. I like that there's a little more serious edge, and it's not you know it's a little segue, man. Let me ask you a question that's kind of off subject from the album. We'll get
Hmm.
back to the album, but this is the house that rocks. Do you feel like there's a resurgence in the rock scene? You and I were at a Slow Mosa show a couple weeks ago, bud.
Yeah.
I guess it was a month ago. That house is packed.
You came down to Springs for that. Yeah. And that was a
Yeah.
full house at the Black Sheep.
Do you think
Um,
do you think there is a resurgence in the house that rocks?
I do think so, and whether these fans have been around for a while and they're just now getting back to shows or buying music again, I definitely see that. I mean, metal has never gone away. Heavy
Right.
metal's always had its place, especially underground, extreme metal. But rock has sort of came and went over the years. It ebbs and flows.
Sure.
But it's definitely on an upscale right now. There's some big radio bands out there that have made a big splash over the last many years. Dirty Honey, for instance, they were a band that didn't have a label, and they had a #1 record, and that's a little more polished, than what we are. We kind of like that a little bit more gritty of a sound. But
Yeah.
I think just bands like that who have exploded have really helped pave the way for the underground bands to have a little bit more of a presence and a place and a voice as well. So I think you're completely right.
Cool. Do you consider your I don't know how much of a label guy you are, but do you consider yourself an underground band?
I think we're a DIY band. Underground,
I like
I
that.
guess there's different meanings to underground.
Yeah,
Our
yeah.
music isn't so underground, but the way we promote ourselves, total DIY. We're our own managers. We're our own label. We do everything ourselves 110%. But in that sense, we don't answer to anybody. Everything we do is exactly how we want it to be. And you're talking to an ex record label guy here, an ex band manager. But we're all so far along. We've been doing this long enough. It's like, I don't think we want to relinquish any sort of control to anybody over music, design, the shows we play, the approach that we have. So I do consider ourselves underground in that sort of sense.
Yeah. So let me tell you, Andrew, just what you just said there to me really exemplifies what's important to me when I think about rock and roll. That is not corporate, that it is
Hmm.
do it yourself, that it is guys like you, just doing what you want, directing the art right down, deciding where you're going to play and when you're going to play. To me, that's the real voice of rock and roll. So, man, I think rock and roll in general is underground. I think
Yeah,
most rock is really, and so I thought about that a lot this week listening to your album and how much I liked it and how it is different than some of like the stoner rock or desert rock, but
right.
how, man, those roots run deep. And even the guys that I know that, their favorite band is Caius or Dozer or whatever, and I'm I love that stuff. Man, we can
Or
all, when we start,
Nebula, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Nebula is a great example. But when we start going back to where it all came from, your album really has those roots, man. I hear that Iron Maiden in there, and I hear the Judas Priest in there, and I hear
Yep.
some Zeppelin in there, and I hear some Rush in there, and tell me, I don't know if those are actually your influences, but you're an older guy. What made you want to do this now?
Personally, I've been singing for 35 years. I'm a drummer first. Then I learned how to play guitar because my older brother was a guitar player. And singing I got into when I was about college age, and it just made more sense for me. Um, and I've only, I think, gotten better as a singer, and I've really
Sure.
worked on it. I've really worked on it over the years, man. I got to tell you, when I first started, I was in more straight up metal bands, so singing rougher.
Okay.
And it was tough to do because you have to really work your voice in, to being abused, you know.
Okay.
But then as the years have gone on, I've tried to have a better range, have a cleaner range, and still have a little gruffness to my sound.
You
So,
do.
I,
You nail it. You really have a beautiful voice. It's really a
well,
pleasure to
the
listen to.
one singer I've been compared to more than anybody in my life is John Bush of Armored Saint and briefly of Anthrax. And
Okay.
I take that very seriously. Like, I
Yeah, I
love that.
think
I
we
love
talked
John
about
Bush.
that.
He's one of my
Yeah.
favorites. But as Dirty Kings, as far as influence, it's funny when you said Zeppelin and you mentioned Maiden. Just yesterday, we put up another video talking about the record coming out, and I mentioned how our influences have gone this way, both directions from, I think, our previous record, where we've always cited like Kiss, Thin Lizzy,
Sure.
UFO, um, those core bands as like our,
UFO, I think that's what I was missing today. I was like, there's just something. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So those are like our core bands that we've always kind of thought, well, that kind of defines us enough to kind of tell somebody what you're like
Yeah.
without
It's
them
fair.
hearing your music. But with this record, man, we started writing this record 4 years ago. It's been 4.5 years between records, and not because we weren't inspired. It's just we've had a lot of things take place personally with us. Some of us are grandparents now, just recently in the last few years. So exactly, so life happens, right?
It's
But
great. Yeah.
we didn't say no to anything that somebody brought in as an idea. Whereas I think before, I'm guilty of it most when like one of our guitar players brings in a couple of riffs. I'll be like, that sounds like this, or that sounds like this band. Like, let's make it ours. Let's do it a little different, or just throw
Yeah.
the idea away and do something else.
Okay.
Um, I don't think we said no to anything this time around. So whether it sounded different than what we normally did, or maybe, hey, does that even sound like us? we worked it and worked on it until it did sound like Dirty Kings. But I think our influences on this record have broadened more melodically and more in a heavy sense too, where I think there's some Stones and Zeppelin influences on this record.
Yeah.
I mentioned Black Crowes, Whitesnake,
Okay. What?
even
So much White Snake when I'm listening today. Yes,
and
in the best
Metallica.
way, man. Yeah.
Metallica and new wave of British heavy metal. I think there's a couple parts in this record. You mentioned Maiden, new wave of British heavy metal.
Yeah, for sure,
The
buddy.
Apollo Crossing has that sort of gallop to it.
It does, and then it has, and Apollo Crossing also has that Zeppelin moment for me when it comes in with the acoustic part in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, dude, that song, I really dig that song. That song,
I think that's
it might be my favorite one.
I think that's the band favorite. So,
well, I think it's my favorite too. It's a beautiful song. The songwriting is spectacular.
Thank you.
You guys write good songs. Like, I have your last album too, and like, it's enjoyable. Because I mostly listen to a genre that has a tendency to go off on 15-minute journeys. And,
Yep.
it's like, I liked it. I don't know if I'd call it a song necessarily all the time. But you guys write crisp, like 4 or 5 minute songs, that don't meander, that don't lose their pace, they don't lose their direction. Where does the songwriting come from? Are you the chief songwriter, or is it important to the band that you write these shorter, tight songs? I mean, I love it.
I think it goes back to what I just said. Our core influences, bands like Kiss and Thin Lizzy. They
Sure.
write structurally, like a shorter song, and kind of has more of an old school structure to it.
Yeah.
Our main songwriters are Wade, our bass player, John, and Sean, our guitar players. So the guitar players in the band are the main songwriters.
Doing a great job, guys.
I've got a couple of writing credits on here, but it's only like parts, like one part of this song I wrote and another part I wrote. But those guys are the main songwriters. I write all the lyrics and the melody lines. But man, aside from me, we've got 3 great singers in this band. John, my guitar player, who used to be the lead singer of the band, Wade, and JMO, our drummer. All those guys are great singers. So
great harmony.
that's something. Thank you. That's something that we really upped the ante on with Dirty Kings 3 is, we had good backing vocals, I think, before, but they were just backing vocals. This time around, I wrote parts just for those guys.
Oh, that's
like,
cool.
There's like call and response type, like, well, I do a lyric, and then it's background. So I had those guys specifically in mind when writing the melodies and the lyrics, or I'm sorry, the vocal parts for this album. And I think it really shows. They stepped up and knocked it out of the park in the studio. And we rehearsed, we really, really rehearsed for this album recording, because we record live. Our rhythm tracks are all 110% live in the studio.
What?
And then we do guitar solos.
Sounds so amazing, man.
We do guitar solos over the top of it and vocals over the top of it. But the guys record our rhythm tracks 100% live. So with that, again, our discipline, I think, is a lot, what do I want to say, a lot more admirable than
you guys are
a lot
really,
of bands.
really good musicians. It's a really, really tight band. Like, I mean, you could tell you guys have been playing together for a while, and you're professionals on top of that. The album, the sound is so rich, and I'm listening to, I can't wait to you guys are pressing vinyl, right?
This one's for you, my friend, right here.
Oh my God. Cool. I'll take it, man, because I want to hear this on my stereo.
I think that goes
listening to it on my phone through a speaker, I know did not do it justice, but it still sounded so good, man. It's so, I don't know who engineered it, and you could talk about that here, but man, it really fills up the room, and it sounds huge.
I just wanted to get into that because hats off to our team at Avalanche Studios up in Northbrook.
Avalanche again, right on.
Yeah, we did that with the last record, and Joey Shapiro, we got to know him because of his drumming skills in Straight Six. We played some shows with them way back, and he just loved us from the start, as far as like just what you're saying, complimenting the band, our professionalism. And he was like, if you guys ever want to record, I'm part owner of Avalanche. You need to come check the place out. And just the tour we took of the place, we like, all right, there's something special here. It's got the old school huge control room where all the guys gather and play in the same
The big
room.
panel thing.
Yeah, exactly. So Joey really takes care of us, and our live engineer, our studio engineer, is also the guy who mixed the record, Mike Sandoval. He mixed our
Okay.
last record. So again,
So
we use the same team as before. So those guys know our approach, how we record live, and then put the solos and the vocals over the top of that live take. And so they were as prepared as we were to get this done right, get it like we wanted to bring that live energy to our studio recordings. But Jamo on drums, he plays to a click track. He is so good at that. A lot of drummers, that's kind of a struggle for them, is to play, whether it's live or in a studio, play to a click track and still have that energy and still play 100% like you were on stage without it.
So good.
But he dials that in, man. And, again, kudos to not just the guys in the band, but also Mike and Joey for taking care of us and doing a bang up job with recording us as well as the mix. And we had Alex, his last name, I forget how to pronounce his last name, and I don't want to butcher it. But Alex, he mastered our record. He's a recommendation from Joey Shapiro. He actually used to work at Sterling Sound, which is where George Marino used to work. And like Sterling Sound's been around for decades doing Zeppelin records and all these huge high-end albums. So to have a guy that used to have an office at Sterling Sound produce or master our record, it's pretty special.
Amazing,
and while you ask the next question, I'm going to dig out his last name so I can actually give him
properly credit you, man.
Yeah, exactly.
But I love that you included an acoustic track at the end. The bonus track is fantastic. I think once again it highlights your amazing vocals. And
Alex Saradakis.
There we go.
Saroudakis. Cool French dude, man. Alex Saradakis.
Excellent.
Can't recommend him anymore.
Yeah, well, I can't imagine why I had difficulty remembering that name. But it does roll right off the tongue once you say it. So,
once I see it, it comes right naturally, right?
Well, tell me, man. See, the album's coming out Friday. You guys, what are you doing? Are you doing anything special on Friday?
Well, not only is it the release day of our new album on Friday, but it's also my wife and I's 15th wedding anniversary. So,
well, congratulations.
Thank you. I've got kind of split duties that day, but we're getting together tomorrow, normal Wednesday rehearsal. I just got the albums, the LPs in the mail today. So the rest of the guys haven't seen them. So tomorrow we get to do the unveiling video.
Oh, sweet.
Do another video that we can put on our socials.
You're going to put that on Facebook. I'll definitely be reposting that. We'll do that as a little teaser for the interview, man.
Cool.
That'll be great.
This here's our next show. This is the record release party at Black Sheep, where you were just at for the Slow Motion show.
Such a great room.
I love that room. That's our home away from home. Locals Death Ride and Letters from the Sun are both in support of that show with us. We played several shows with each band. They draw their own crowd. That's 3 different styles of bands, and then we wanted to have a nice show where you get a little bit of everything.
So one more time, what's that date?
It's June 12th, Friday,
June 12th.
At the Black Sheep.
Andrea and I will try to make it down. I got off work early that day, so we'll definitely try to head on down and see your show, man. We love a good trip to the Springs.
Yeah. We've got new merchandise with the album cover. So it's a great time for us. It's an exciting week, and we feel like it's taken forever to get this album out, but I think our rollout has been pretty good. I think a lot of people that know us and like us are excited as well. So
I'm excited, man, and I think I think it's important for different subgenres of the underground scene, to support each other, and we're definitely going to be talking about this album, and I want people to listen to it. I think people are really who might not normally think of your band and this inclusive should consider you listening to you guys, because you're badass. And they're going to hear a lot of things they really love in your record. You know what? I think the underground scene, one thing that I think that we all really have to have is people that are authentic and genuine. And your band is definitely both of those things. I mean, you guys are the real deal. and you can hear it in the music. And I know it from talking to you guys and meeting you guys. You guys are freaking awesome. Man, you guys have some more shows coming up this summer though, right? I'm gonna see you up.
Yeah, we got 2 Denver dates in
Yeah,
July.
that's a,
We're playing July 3rd at Black Sky Brewery, our second trip there.
it's a
We're
cool
playing
place.
with Steel Society and Motorhead,
No,
Philo's Motorhead tribute
I know
band.
Philo, right on Philo.
Yeah.
I've seen Motorhead before. We'll go see him again. Cool.
So
That's
that's
a cool place to see a show. Grab a pizza, have a nice
yeah, have a
beer, and
beer.
fucking see some rock and roll.
Yeah,
Heck
so that's
yeah.
the day before the 4th. That's Friday, July 3rd. Then we're back up there at what I cannot wait for is to play Bar 404, July
The
18th. That's a
Homa
Saturday.
Hufferfest.
And that is with Sea of Flame,
Oh,
Luna
I
Soul,
love those guys.
and Master Ferocious. So talk
Okay,
about a stacked bill, man.
dude,
We are stoked for that. And I got to say, the night before this, we got a show in the Springs, Friday, July 17th.
all
Luna
right.
Soul is coming down here,
Oh, cool.
playing at Thrasher's Bar with us, and a newer band on the scene down here called Tongue Action is also playing that show. So
Well,
a
everybody
couple of
likes some
shows.
tongue action.
That's right.
Right on. Well,
So,
man, you
but
know,
this is going to be something else.
to that. So I met Bree from Master Ferocious the other night at a show, and she's super cool. I'm looking forward to seeing her band.
Yeah.
And then obviously Seth and I are partners in our
Yep.
Hufferfest thing, you know, and Luna Soul. I love those guys. And any opportunity to get to see you guys is definitely special. And then, have you seen Sea of Flame before?
Have not seen them, but man, I love their music. And
Dude,
Zeth
they're
is the
so
one.
good.
Yeah, Zeth was like, we got to get these guys on this bill, and lo and behold, they're going to headline because they're so freaking good live. I can't wait to see them. It's funny that Zeth just kind of dubbed that weekend. How did he say it? Dirty Soul or Luna Kings weekend, because we're playing back-to-back shows with each other. So
I'll be
yeah.
seeing those shows. That's cool, man. I'm super stoked for you, bud. You seem really happy. You seem excited about what's happening and for your musically and in your life too. Do you want to just, man, I'll give you open forum? Do you want to like talk about anything in particular that I didn't ask you about,
Um.
or promote anything, or do you
Well,
have some free time, my man?
Well, thanks. I think go back to like the way that we, I guess, I'll regress and say, like I said before, about 4 or 5 of the songs on this album are about being dirty kings,
Yeah.
in one way or another, and a lot of that comes with the feelings of alienation, feeling like you don't belong, and everybody's gone through that in their life, and we've always been that way as a band. We're
Sure.
not a full-on metal band by choice. We've all played in metal bands in our younger days, and so a lot of this album is about being on the outside looking in, or just always feeling like we're not part of the cool scene. But it's funny because as this album has been built up for its release, we're getting so much reaction from so many different bands who are metal bands or doom bands or punk bands that are saying that they can't wait for this too. So what I've always appreciated is the bands like Thin Lizzy, UFO, Fireball Ministry that are rock bands by genre, but can be appreciated by metal bands because they're great players, can be appreciated by punk bands because we write good songs that have good solid structure, and just fans of even indie rock fans. I've got personal friends here that don't listen to hard rock or metal that love our band, support our band, buy our records, and see our shows. So I've got a lot of pride in that, and we as a band have a lot of pride in walking a thin line between styles of music. But what it comes down to is, you've heard it before. There's 2 kinds of music. There's good and there's bad,
Yep.
and we're
You guys are the
definitely
good.
we're writing good fucking music.
Yeah, you
So
are.
so
Yeah,
that's
you
really all I have, man. So
dude, I love it, man. Thanks for taking the time to do this. I think
my pleasure.
my goal with this interview is that we get some people who have not heard Dirty Kings before to pick up your stuff on Bandcamp, listen to you guys on Spotify, find you guys in some way, YouTube music, whatever their preferred method is, and hear how good you guys are, and get I get exposed. Like all it took for me to get into Dirty Kings was hearing Dirty Kings. You guys are absolutely a solid rock band that I absolutely love. Dude, I can't wait to see you. I can't wait to see you guys play again. Man, I
I'll throw the socials out there if we
yeah,
could.
let's do that. Let's do that.
I'm going to be putting the full album up on Bandcamp probably tomorrow,
Okay.
in time for Friday's release. It's dirtykings719.bandcamp.com. You can check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/dirtykings, and Instagram, we are dirtykings719. Again, we are on the streaming services like Spotify and whatnot. We don't put a whole lot of energy into Spotify.
Sure. Well, dude,
Everybody's got something bad to say about it, and that's great. I try to look at it positively, that any place in the world can listen to our music for free.
yeah, they
And
could
that's a
discover
good
you,
thing.
right? And they
And
can
if they
come out
want to
and
come
see you.
further,
Yeah,
exactly, they come see us or go to our Bandcamp page, come to a show and buy something. Well, it all works out in the end,
for sure,
And if
man.
somebody can say, "Hey, man, I heard your band on Spotify. You're great," and that's it. It's
I
a
think
nice compliment.
dude, that's a healthy attitude to have. I know a lot of people are really down on Spotify, and I'm one of them.
Yeah.
But anything that helps the music get heard, really, I think it just depends on your approach to it. And if you're looking for to get rich through Spotify,
Oh God.
man, you better be named Taylor Swift or something. But
A band
otherwise,
like,
dude, otherwise it's like a great marketing tool for you, right?
if you make music, if you make a living through music, I feel you have every reason to bitch and complain about what Spotify pays a band. Dirty Kings, we've never made a living first and foremost through our music. We make some pretty good coin on the side to be able to
So
fund our recordings, fund our LPs and CDs that we purchase ourselves, our merchandise. We all buy that ourselves because all the money we make as a band goes into our band fund. But when it comes to Spotify, we've got no reason to complain that we're not going to make X amount of dollars off of it, because we've never looked at that as that sort of a tool. It's just
yeah.
a promotional tool.
Yeah,
So
cool, man. Right, that's a
yeah,
healthy attitude and probably keeps you sane too, right?
absolutely.
I think, yeah, man. I mean, having a realistic attitude probably is fairly healthy. We're
I
like the same age, dude. We're Generation X. We fucking are skeptical about every fucking thing, right?
Well, I spent enough time, 10 years in the music industry, technically working for Century Media and Nuclear Blast Records, and I've seen the ugliest ends of the music or the business part of the music business. So, being able to do this, you've got to have a healthy attitude, and you got to have a positive attitude, because there's a million things in the music industry to be down on or be negative on. But why not try to flip that around and just look at the positives?
That's what I like about you, man, because I know we have the same kind of attitude about that too. And I'm like, we could complain about it, or we could do cool stuff that people have fun listening to, or shows that they enjoy coming out to. Thanks for coming out to my show, by the way, on Saturday, dude. It was so
Hell
good
yeah.
to see you.
Yes.
But I think, like, man, that's what I like about the underground thing, man. It's real, the do-it-yourself thing. So, man, thanks for being a huge part of that, and thanks for showing people that you can do what the hell you want to, and you don't have to like neatly fit into some genre, and you can still make badass music that people love, like you said, from across the spectrum. Man, I appreciate you doing
Thank you,
that.
dude.
Because like I know you don't make a lot, like you said, dude, you're not doing this for a living. So really, as a fan, I really do want you to know that I do deeply appreciate what you do. It means a lot to me. Your band, the music, seeing you at shows, it gives me a lot of pleasure to my life. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, you've always been, super authentic from the first time I saw a video of you, meeting you that first time at Bar 404 and giving you our music, and like, man, I hope this guy likes our stuff. And you came back
Yeah,
with just some great compliments. So you and I are a lot alike, and I appreciate you so much. And the fact that you're now gonna have an annual fest. That's
yeah, dude.
so cool, dude. So
Well, I'm
cool.
telling you what, we're gonna have to figure out a way to get you into that fest, if not this year, some year, buddy. Because I'm telling I think we need to break down some of those walls and frickin' have some more representation of different kinds of rock and roll. And so we'll talk about that. Definitely in the future, man. I want bands there that I love, and you guys are one of them. And so, dude, we'll just see what the future holds.
Dirty Kings 3 this Friday, May 29th.
Man, we are all lucky to get that third album, man. Thank you so much, Andrew. Hey, bud, this
Patrick,
is
thank you, man.
you bet, man. Hey, this is S. Patrick Brooks from the Heavy Underground Farm Report. I had Andrew Sample from Dirty Kings from Colorado Springs on today. Andrew, I really appreciate your time, dude. If you'd hang on just 1 second, I'm going to hit the stop button.
Yeah!